Pencil Kings, 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 Pencil Kings.
You start to feel that you fail if you do not have success, and that is completely a lie.
Today we're going straight over to the European Union and we're talking to Patricio Clarey. I know that's a very Americanized, Canadianized way to say it, but we'll just roll with what I can go with. So Patricio, to start off, as we always do, why don't you give people the 1 minute overview of who you are and what you're doing, and then today what I specifically want to talk about is balancing your personal projects with your freelance life, in your case, or your job or whatever. There's like that thing that you have to do to survive, to put food on the table. But then there's that other part of your creative soul that's just like, man, I need to do this other thing, but you're always doing this balancing act. So that's what I want to talk about. But let's start with the 1 minute overview.
Great, thanks, Mitch. Well, I'm a sushi artist and I was born in Argentina. And I was at the beginning studying as a graphic designer and an illustrator because the university was free, so it was a great chance. And then I just leave the illustrator career and I became a graphic designer. And I moved to Spain, trying to, in a way, find the timing to create an artist career, because when I was living in my country, it was like, you know, with the family and the friends and all your life, it was there and you have people that you know everywhere. So it was a good move to just cross, you know, the ocean and trying to build from the very beginning a life and a career at the same time. The beginning was rushed because it was this moment when digital camera was starting to appear. And my first computer was on, you know, this iMac, but was like an egg, white egg. So then in the progression, I was able to work as a graphic designer in a medieval magazine. And I had this opportunity to, you know, because there is no so much material in a medieval magazine. So it was, okay, I can draw a portrait of King Arthur because I remember I was able to draw. And that was the beginning here in Spain of, okay, I can draw and I can do this and get paid. And suddenly, then I meet my wife and basically we get involved into the graphic novel world. And we've been working like for 5 years in our first graphic novel. And at that time I was working as a graphic designer and illustrator and trying to make a decision about what I wanted to be. But it was a mess at that time. And the only note that I remember is that you just want to create a great project, a great graphic novel, and you have a lot of energy because you're young and in some way you have all this dark knowledge inside your head about how everything is working. So that energy was really good at that time. And then we were working, you know, a little bit more into our own projects, and we published 2 graphic novels here in Barcelona, Spain, and it was good. And then we just stopped a little bit, because, as I was saying, trying to work and build a life and trying to work in your own projects, it becomes a battle every day. And we are fighting this war even now, trying to get free time because we have a lot of personal projects that we wanted to make. It's simple, and you need the time to do it. You need, all the knowledge, all the tools and the craft that you have to get focuses on your work. And that is something difficult to get. In some way, it's like you're a slave and you're free because you have your stuff and you can get books and you can go and ride a bike, but you're here like working all the time. And when you have to work in your personal projects, it's like a double life, and you need to work and then you need to work and your other stuff. But so far, it was a great experience. We get tired a little bit, so we are waiting right now. We are not doing any graphic novel. So my wife, that she is a writer, she was, oh my, sorry, it was a minute, and I'm just going on and on.
No, it's great. I think it's good, and it's exactly what we want to be talking about, the struggle for creating your personal projects. And I actually had a question just to start off. How long, so you've put out 2 graphic novels so far, correct?
Yeah. 2 in books, physical books, and we have the other one in a digital format available in Amazon.
Okay. So how long did it take you to put out your first graphic novel? Because the reason I ask is that this question comes up all the time. So many, actually it's not a question, it's a statement. People saying, my dream is to make a graphic novel. And I'm a little concerned for these people. If you've said that statement in the past, I'm speaking directly to you. I'm concerned with these people because their expectations are not realistic. They say this, I would like to make a graphic novel, but it's like a wish. It's not even a dream. It's not something that they've sat down and laid out the steps. It's not something that they've even done 1 page of sketches or 1 story or anything. It's just like this wish that has no power behind it. Yeah. And I'm afraid that it will never get done. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people that tell you, oh, you made a graphic novel? I want to make a graphic novel. Yeah. And you've probably heard it so many times that you don't do it because I'm sure you're polite when you're speaking with people, but you almost want to roll your eyes. But I want to help these people. Yeah. So let's give them a little dose of reality. How long? And the first one's always the hardest because you have to learn so much, even if your skills are big, just about managing your time, laying out pages, actually getting it printed, all this, and probably 100 other things. But how long did that first one take? So first dose of reality here.
Yeah, no, amazing. I completely think the same. Well, I'm completely agree with what you say, and I've been in that moment when I just have we just have the desire to create all of this. You know, right now it's amazing how to realize that not all the time is a creative moment. You're not creating all your universe every second of the day when you have to do this. A lot of hard work. And basically, for me, I've been doing an artwork for my own, and it was basically amazing and a piece of cake because I just been doing illustrations, whatever I wanted. But and that was the moment when I realized how insane is to do a graphic novel. If you want to get involved with that, first, obviously, you need to have the desire and the passion, and you need to go, okay, I'm going to go with this. But it's insane. Even for me, I lost the desire of continue working on this because I was extremely saturated about the storytelling, about the story that you're communicating, because there are so many different directions.
Okay, but let's break it down and give a specific number here. So that first graphic novel from beginning to end, even like there's the beginning stage where it's an idea, but let's not count that. Let's not count when it's only in your head. Let's say the beginning is when that first word goes onto the page. How long did it take you to finish that graphic novel? Are we talking 6 months? 30 days, 1 year? What was it like for you guys?
No, I totally understand. Look, the first graphic novel, it was extremely insane because it's a different technique, and I've been doing sculptures and taking pictures, so it wasn't drawing. It was insane. But we spent 5 years to put in shape the...
Okay, that's it. That's perfect. That's the answer I was looking for. Yeah. I know that, and I saw the process documents on your blog, and they are amazing. We'll get the links for it at the end of the show and on the Pencil King site. But I love how you guys showed how you put together the different pages and the maquettes and all the things that you built. It's amazing. It's such a, like, just to go and see, you can learn so much just from looking at that. But what I want to impress on people here is 5 years. This is your main side project. I'm sure you weren't working on it every day, but for 5 years. So think about that think about what you're getting into when you have this goal of, I want to make a graphic novel. There's people who can do it faster, for sure.
Exactly.
But in your case, it was 5 years, and I just want to give people a cold, hard dose of reality. And I'm not saying don't have the dream of making a graphic novel. I'm just saying be serious about it. And if you're not serious about it, find a different way to tell the story that allows you to be serious about it so that you can actually create instead of just having this wishy-washy dream. So let's get back to the subject of balancing the two sides. So you're working, but then you're also putting the time in. And 5 years is a really long time. At the beginning, did you have a plan, or did you not really know what you were doing? And by a plan, I mean you said, okay, from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever your hours are, that's my normal working time, or when I'm approaching clients or having meetings. And then from like 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. is when I work on the graphic novel, and that's the schedule that you stuck to. Did you have any kind of plan for your time like that in the beginning?
No. At the beginning, I didn't have that, and because it was mayhem, and with this different process of creating this stuff, it was I was using all my holidays and weekends and everything, because it was so taking pictures, creating sculptures, and then working the Photoshop, trying to put all of this together. And it was, in some way, it was like an adventure to create that graphic novel. It was, right now it's drawing, and so you have to be sitting on your Wacom Cintiq or your tablet, and everything is about that. But that first project, it was really interacting with all this kind of digital tools, and trying to get a little bit involved with the 3D, softwares like ZBrush for faces and stuff, and reference. And it was like a very good study to do that. It was amazing for me that our second graphic novel, we spent 3 months doing that, just that. Of course, that is extremely, it has 56 pages, and the first one, it had 200 pages. But the second graphic novel, it was about a movement, and it was born here in Spain, called the 15M, and right now, I think it's that, like, sometimes Anonymous and all this stuff. And it was happening here, and the people came out to the cities and great manifestations, and it was a great spirit. And we just did a story about that, about people, about the movement, that the things, the reality that we're living here, people like us, and all this moment. And we just, it was a creative explosion about that. And, nonetheless, it has just 22 pages about comic, like sequential art. But it was good because it was spontaneous. And our third graphic novel, we spent 1.5 years, and it has the same pages, 56 pages, which is a short graphic novel. It's a little book, but it's if you're not get crazy, everything is about at least about 1 year. Basically, if you wanted to do something decent. So it's insane. The timing and fighting, trying to get time, because you never have holidays, never ever, or free time, and you're always. Yeah, I think that you became in the org, the friends. Can never go out. Can you? No. You go to the theaters time to time because you need to see that kind of a specific movies, but it's like all day working, and you get crazy in a long time doing that. So you need to find different kind of balances and stuff. So never stop.
I'm glad that you brought that up, the orc, or like just this idea of staying in and working on your creative project, because that's how I feel. That's how I feel with what we're doing with Pencil Kings. This is my art now. This has become my project that I have a vision, and I'm trying to see it come to completion. I've been working on it for several years, always making it better day by day. It's not a graphic novel or anything like that, but it has the same kind of dedication where most of the people around me can't understand this. They can't understand, oh, it's Sunday. Well, let's go to the beach. And it's not that I don't want to go to the beach, but I actually want to create more than I want to go to the beach. Or if I go to the beach, it might be, 2 hours, whereas I could spend 6 hours on my creative project until kind of my brain power runs out, and I find that I'm not able to work very much anymore. But most people can't understand this. And I think it's important for creators to realize that it's not weird, or maybe we are weird, but other creators can relate to your experience. And you need to put in the time. If you are the person spending all day on the beach, maybe you're amazingly productive, or you have some tricks or something. But most people, I find, when you have these bigger projects, you just need to put in a lot of time.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it was from the very beginning that kind of a role that we are playing. But it's insane how today everything is about success. So if you have a lot of success in what you're doing, you immediately get this kind of respect that the people are gonna give it to you. But if you're just, as you were saying, about that you're just working on your project and every day trying to be a disciplined guy and all this stuff and the hard work. It's like, okay, maybe in the future they're going to do something, but you're the only one who realized that you have to stay in playing and fighting that every day. Like if you, and even today with all this kind of a lot of information that we have, everything, if you just stop for a moment and stop doing what you do, you just disappear. So it's like, it's a symbiosis between the things you wanted to do and what you need to do, the hard work. So I think it's insane also because today one person is able to do a company job, like, I don't know, 10 or 20 persons. And right now, in a way, we can do that. For example, right now, I'm getting crazy because I'm just working in a new project for my own, and I'm doing the pencils, the story, the ink, the colors, and it's for, even for me, I've been drawing for a lot of time, and I get crazy about that, about all of this, and definitely I need to go to the beach a little bit more.
So let's talk about the balance, the balancing act. How do you actually balance the time for clients, and because you're full-time freelance, correct?
Yeah.
So how do you balance all this personally? What's your approach?
Well, basically the thing is that I am a poor person in a way. We can pay the rent and the books and the stuff, but I didn't go further trying to look for better jobs and better stuff. So that is in a way our reality. We just get money from jobs time to time, and we're just spending in our own projects. So in a way, it's a style of life. It's not funny. It's a little bit like rusty a little bit, but you need to find this kind of inspiration about what you are doing, and that is the key. It's not easy. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. But it's, I mean, the world is, I mean, the jobs are stealing your magic in a way. I'm stealing what you're learning. You spend a lot of time trying to do this stuff. And right now, if you are working for other people, you are given to them all of that thing that is inside of you. And I think that today there's a lot of people trying to, okay, as we were talking earlier, that I have this desire that I want to create this graphic novel. Well, you have to do it. And the only way to do it is working more. And if the day has 24 hours, you need to be a really crazy guy trying to handle, to absorb, time for working your project. But I mean, if you have money, it's amazing because maybe you have another kind of problems. But if you're a responsible person and you have a goal and you have a will, you can go for that. Then if you're struggling trying to pay the rent and all this stuff, it's like as I was saying, for me, it's a battle, and it's like all these kind of warriors and orcs that we are drawing because we have this kind of a fantasy inside our brain, and they're just right there trying to give it to you, your freedom, because it's amazing that, for example, I don't know what exactly I'm able to do because I'm working, and I like a lot of stuff. I like sculpture or music or stuff about art, but definitely I do not have the time to go into, I mean, every single time that I want. So you need to choose what you wanted to do, and if you as we were talking in the beginning, you have this kind of, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. But the next stage of that level is the hard work. And the hard work it's about a little bit more about not having fun. And that it's not an easy feeling to deal with it, because we want to having fun and create stuff and talk with the people and put all of this in the medias and trying to get a feedback immediately. But I don't know. For example, right now I'm working in my secret project that I like to I have this kind of material that I never been posting, so it's just for my own, and that's a good feeling. In a way, we have to fight with the reality of today, no matter what.
So, do you work on your personal projects then every day? Do you have a set time for it? Or is it really, as you were saying, you're just, when inspiration hits you, then you work on it? So, because you're freelance, you have some control on your time. So, if, say, inspiration hits you right after you finish this podcast, even though you have a client work you should be doing, instead you'll choose your creative project and know that the inspiration for that will leave after some time, and then you'll go back to the client work? Or how do you do it?
Yeah, well, when I'm working and there's time when you have a lot of work, you just need to work on that characters design, and because you have deadlines and all this stuff. So there's time when you just close your world and say, okay, now it's time of working. But immediately you need to change and start working on your stuff. Well, that was my case. As Picasso says, and inspiration comes to you, you should be working. You cannot stay on the beach or in the theaters. And basically, the creative stuff and the inspiration stuff is not all day.
So just to take this a little bit further, could you break down what a typical day looks like for you, and especially in terms of client work, family time, and your creative projects? Because I feel like, and family time could be friend time or whatever, but it's more like, we'll call it personal time. So client work, personal time, and then your passion project. How does the time break down, or how does your day look like?
Well, for me, it was very different in many years. But right now, in the last 5 years, I found this kind of balance. And I'm trying to work in the morning for the clients. As I was saying, if I have something really big, I spend a whole week or stuff like that. And about friends and family, but as I was saying, I do not have many friends here. I have a few, but I'm just trying to save my whole energy for my art, because I realize that there's time when you need to go to get something, even about art, paper or stuff or things that you need, and you use the energy. And I've been learning that it's better for me when I use everything that I have in what I'm doing, because as we were talking, the graphic novel, it's a lot of layers of work. So you need to, it's, in a way, it has to become like, okay, I'm not doing anything, I'm doing a page or I'm doing a concept. So it's like trying to using the time on your favor, and trying to, when you spend a day, at the end of the day, you say, okay, I get something for my own. I have this stuff that I didn't have yesterday, and I did it in an hour or in two or that night. And in some way, it's amazing to build this kind of treasure, of your own. It's your job, it's your work, and I think that, and after that, basically, it's all the time. It's working all the time. It's a little bit. It sounds insane, but it's the only way. It's amazing. It's good, the concept that you need to remove your personality or your conscience. You need to remove all the, I don't want to do this, or I just go to Facebook and go and see what's going on. I mean, what do you want? You have to make your that question every time, because today the world is designed about distractions. You have distractions everywhere, and you need them in a way, because you are getting crazy. But this way it's like it's really hard. Nobody gets to the positions that where they are in an easy way. They've been working, and from the 500 years ago, like Michelangelo and Leonardo, they were all the time working, and the art it was replaced in some way the human life, and they were living this kind of artistic way, and it was amazing. And we have all these models, and we just have to choose and see what we are able to do.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I guess the final thought is just restating something that I said before, just about how serious you have to be if you really want to see these things happen because it is going to take a lot of work. But that's not to say that there aren't easier ways to do things. Sometimes you can do things a really hard or difficult way, especially in the beginning when you don't know. And when you can educate yourself a bit and, for example, like looking on your website at your process documents and saying like, wow, that's something that I want to do, or that's interesting, but it's something that I can't do. And just being conscious about where your abilities are and how you can tell your story.
Yeah.
Then you can start to actually move forward with it in a way that works for you. And I have this feeling that for a lot of people who want to make a graphic novel and who are just, it's the wish, like I was talking about.
Right.
I feel like, let me know what you think about this. I feel like they could start with just writing, like just write a novel. I feel like writing is something that your skills as an artist don't come into play, so you're not second guessing yourself or having to do revisions or several passes, a sketch pass, then a line pass, and it's on and on and on. It's just typing it. It's something that we can all do. And if you can't get your story written out,
right,
it's a pretty good sign that you can just let go of that graphic novel dream, which is fine, and you can find a new dream. You can find something else that excites you, but at least you're not talking BS anymore. You're not tricking yourself. You're not telling yourself lies, because I want people to do the things that they want to do with their life. And if you don't really want to make a graphic novel, just appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's fine to be a fan, and there's lots of ways that you can still add value to the world of graphic novels. That it's not being the creator. So,
right.
What do you think?
No, I totally agree, and it's really difficult in this time to get that clear about what do you want and what do you want to get. But because, as I was saying, you have many roles that you can play, and you have attraction by a lot of things. But it's definitely in that way that think is free, so you can go with your mind to whatever place that you want. But today, I think there's more and more distance between your thoughts and what you are doing and what you're able to do. And basically, I think that it's information of yourself that you need to get from the world. Like, as you were saying, I need to make this graphic novel, and you need to go through it and try to find, if you're able to do that, the problems or the stuff, or trying to see how you look yourself in that medium. Even today, when I'm working in a graphic novel, it's like you can do something normal. You can create a character, you can create a scene. But today, the level is so high that we are this kind of obsession about, I need to do it perfect. And it's not that way. It's about to find whatever you want to tell and do it on your own way. And I've been doing all the work, my own work that I did just for my own and for my career and my art, and I need to be happy with that. And because if you're trying to do something for the market or for or whatever reason, like a market reason, I mean, it wasn't good for me. And in that way, I know that I'm going to be an artist for the rest of my life. So I wanted to have a lot of works, an artwork on an illustration books or a graphic novel or whatever. I just want to do that for me. And I think that is difficult, something difficult to get today, because you are waiting for feedback about everything, basically. And we need to get slow about that. Very difficult for the people today trying to find all this balance between everything that is happening.
Yeah, and I think that's a really... We'll do another podcast episode on goal setting. But I think what you said is really true. And you said it earlier on this interview about that in the culture today is largely driven by success. And so as a product of that, then we're looking to get the validation and the feedback from the market. It's like making the graphic novel is one thing. And I think it's very healthy to make it for yourself. If other people like it, great. If they don't, that's okay too, because you know that this is something that you wanted to do for yourself. It's a story that you wanted to tell. But
exactly,
when you're trying to be, a success, and so you want to make your product, and then you think it's not successful unless you have, 100,000 sales or something like that.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, you're getting into this realm of, where you're getting caught up in this success mindset, but it's not the healthiest thing, especially in the beginning, because you just have to get to the finish line and get that first product out.
Yeah. I mean, totally agree with that, because you start to feel that you fail if you do not have success. And that is completely a lie. If you're wanting to do your stuff and you did it and you spend a lot of time working on it and you think that your identity is right there, it's great, but as you were saying, if it's not success in the median, of the people do not talk about it enough, it becomes a problem. And you've been spending a lot of time and using energy and love and your own life to create that. So in a way, you need to create that further, as you were saying. If somebody like my job and I want to read my books, great. But at the same time, we have this dream about that I want to pay the rent with my own books. So it's, in a way, you have to be separated from the market, but at the same time inside. That's why I think it's really complicating to get a great position. I mean, you're always going to be struggling with something, and it's a hard work, definitely.
All right, we should wrap here, but I want to try something special, because I know we have listeners who speak Spanish. I don't. I speak un poco. How about this? I would like to ask people, if you enjoyed this episode, could you please go to Google, type in Pencil Kings iTunes, and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us get the word out to more people, to more artists, and help more people. I would also love to hear from you. If you have feedback for the show, you can email that into me. But we're only looking for 5 stars. If you thought it was a 4, send me an email. So let's try this. Could you tell our Spanish listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please go over to Google, type in Pencil Kings iTunes, and leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah, definitely. Gente, lo que están aquí escuchando en español, por favor vayan a la página de Google y busquen el programa y puedan validarlas, denle 5 estrellas, lo que ustedes quieran, y pasen el link si quieren, si les ha gustado, y espero que la hayan pasado bien. Y nos vemos en la próxima, gente. That was it, I think.
Awesome. I love it. I love the Spanish language. Okay.
Great.
Patricio, where can people find you online? And then we'll be done.
Well, I have my website, patricioclarey.com, but there's not update. So my ArtStation site, I have everything there, and my Facebook too. I'm on Instagram from you, but I'm in all of these platforms that I can be.
Perfect. And we'll get links to everything, and we'll throw it up on pencilkings.com/podcast. So if you're looking for Patricio's site, and especially his process thing, where I'm going to put a direct link because I was looking at that earlier, and those are amazing. So 2 actions. If you want the links, go to pencilkings.com/podcast, and we'll get you linked up. And please leave that 5-star review. It helps us out so much. It doesn't cost you anything other than 2 minutes of time. Thank you so much, Patricio, and we'll see you, listener, next week.
Thanks, Mitch, for having me. It was a great talking, man. Hope to do another one.
Scope demands patience, skill, years of practice.
Ah, you talk like a fool. I would trade a century of practice for an ounce of inspiration.